Man, designing is hard. Hello and welcome. Today I'll be talking about character design. How do you design groups? Is designing groups any different from designing one character? Now, I'm by no means an specialist on this subject, but I have been doing a bit of research and I wanted to show you some of my findings. Designing a character is difficult enough. There is a lot you have to consider: color, proportions, pose. Not looking like this. Ugh. And designing multiple of them? You'd think,
oh no, it must be much more difficult.
But actually, I found it's even easier in some ways. Let's suppose for a moment you already designed a character. That means you already have a base for your next characters. That's my first tip. Maintain style. Unless you're doing something crazy like Gumball, you probably want to make sure all of your characters feel like they belong in the same world. This, I feel, is kinda obvious and intuitive, but it can be difficult to define and apply. Basically, you have to apply the same decisions and techniques among all your characters. Things like maintaining same outline width, shading style, and use of colors can go a long way making them feel like they belong together. An example of a piece of media failing to maintain style is carelessly using CG in anime. Mind you, it can work, but it takes effort integrating it to the rest of the anime. In my case, I decided on rules on things like the color of the outlines as well as some shading rules, so I have to keep these for all of my characters. The second tip I have is that contrast is king. Once you have one character, how the other characters contrast in the group is very important. Each character have to stand on their own, but they also have to stand among each other. It is necessary to vary in things like color, shape, size, and everything you can think of. An easy way to do this is to design characters side by side. Here is an example of me testing the size and colors of my characters beside each other. I think a bad example of contrast are the Stardew Valley girls. Look at how 5 out of the 6 have the same mouth. Even a few NPCs have a similar mouth. Robin is especially bad because she is similar to Leah. She could easily have been the same person but with a different hairstyle. This can lead to pretty bad gameplay consequences. One could easily mistake these characters, especially if it's a beginner. Meanwhile, a good example of contrast is Osomatsu-san. Those are identical sextuplets, so the designers had a pretty big problem making everyone recognizable. But again, I think they did a pretty good job. They may have the same body type and hairstyle, but everything else is different. Look, they each have their own main color, facial expressions, as well as small variations in the outfit and in the hair. As you might have noticed, I adore the designs. They are recognizable even using the same outfit. In fact, they also did this. See? It's only in black and white, and only the eyes can be seen, but there's still enough cues to identify everyone individually. It's amazing, really. For the final tip, we have know when not to contrast. Man, designing is hard. Knowing when not to do something is also very important. In the last example, it makes sense that the Matsu brothers are similar since they are identical sextuplets. Even Gumball, with its crazy amount of art styles, don't change that much when we are talking about the same family. In contrast, Leah and Robin aren't even related. And in my case, I want to reuse the skeleton and animations, which means I can't contrast the body types too much, or the animations may break. I can, however, change other things. Following the Osomatsu-san example, I drew everyone's eyes side by side to ensure they all look different. Something to note is that some of the characters have the same eye format. The reason for that is that they are brothers, and even so, I changed other things around to keep everyone unique in some way. Furthermore, for a group, it's also good to have some kind of unifying aspect, like some kind of uniform or symbol. So I put this 4-pointed gray star on most of my characters, to symbolize they belong in the same group. Not everyone has it, and those have different circumstances. So yeah, I started drawing with these guidelines, and while I did have some difficulty since I'm mainly a programmer, it made it much easier doing it, so I wanted to share it with everyone. I think I'll keep doing these as I make more of these observations. Anyways, if you want to keep up with the project or just want to see more of these, please don't forget to subscribe. These really help me to keep my motivation up and help me as a developer. Thanks everyone, and hopefully see you next time.